Hi, everybody, and welcome to a special live stream from JetBrains. Today, we are launching AI Assistant, our AI-powered coding companion. I'm Paul Everitt, developer advocate. I'm joined by my colleague, Dr. Jodie Burchell, AI and data science advocate at JetBrains. Welcome, Jodie. Kind of a big day.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. It's definitely a massive day. So today we are releasing our long-awaited AI assistant publicly, which will now be accessible for the millions of people using JetBrains IDEs. So this is something we've been working really hard on this year, and we're proud of what we've been able to produce. We've been able to integrate AI into our tools in the same way that we approach everything, really, in a way that's integrated, productive, and transparent.
I love how AI is inside the JetBrains name. It's always been there.
Right. And it's not just in the name, although that worked out very neatly in terms of a slogan for us. So JetBrains IDEs are known, of course, for code inspections, code completion, and many other coding assistant features. So they've always been smart and context aware. Our users say it's like the IDEs reading their mind. And all of this is based on heuristic models. This is essentially AI. So, with the AI assistant, what we're doing is we're bringing the latest generation of AI to you. We're bringing it to you in your editor, in your workflows, really right where you're doing your work. And all of this is backed up by our AI service, which is going to give you the independence that you've come to trust from our brand.
Yeah, thanks, Jody. The story of AI Assistant really comes from our users who've been with us for all these years, which we're really grateful for. We listened, processed, listened a little bit more, implemented, and now we're ready. Let's take a look at AI Assistant. We'll be showing 5 top features plus 4 guests for essential information, live coding, and a special wrap up. It's feature time. Jody, what are we going to show first?
So, if you ask any developer about JetBrains, the first thing they're usually going to tell you about is our amazing refactoring capabilities. So, what we're going to show you is how AI Assistant can help us with this task, starting with refactoring some Go code in Goland.
Let's take a look.
Hit Alt or Option Enter and select Suggest Refactoring from the AI Actions context menu. AI Assistant will suggest refactorings for this code. It also explains why these changes are necessary. If you're happy with the suggestion, you can insert it as a diff into your original file, making it easy to see what was changed.
Well, that's why we call it an assistant, because we're helping the developer.
Exactly. So you already know Alt-Enter as the gateway into JetBrains IDE code assistants. So this is something you're already doing. It's part of your editor workflow. So what this means is we're bringing AI Assistant to you. It's going to assist you in what you're already doing. And I really like this as a recurring theme in AI assistants because we know large language models, they have their limitations. They're designed as a tool that can work with developers and not replace them. So in the case of the demo, we didn't do anything special. You could have invoked this refactoring from anywhere in the function. And what the IDE is doing behind the scenes, and what we're going to discuss soon, is it's using a lot of information beyond just the code itself in order to help that large language model generate the most appropriate refactoring possible.
Yeah, it does the work and then it gives you an explanation and makes it easy to update, right?
Exactly. So AI Assistant is, as I've said, an assistant. It's there to make it easier to work on your code. And obviously, understanding what your code is doing is a massively important part of that.
Yep. We're now joined by Svetlana Zemlyanskaya, AI assistant team lead at JetBrains. That's a cool job title. Thanks for joining us, Svetlana.
Yeah, and I'm really happy that you've joined us as well. So you're going to give us some product information plus some details about the AI assistant being context aware, right?
Yes, thank you. I'm going to cover how deeply we have been able to integrate AI service into our ideas to take the most out of large language models. In just a couple of years, AI-based code generation tooling went from being an interesting research topic to being an important part of developers' toolboxes. Based on our developers ecosystem survey, 60% of developers are already familiar with code generation tooling with AI, and this number won't go down. That's why when we started to working on AI Assistant, we knew that we want to make it truly aware of the context around it. Because that's what IDE is all about, having multiple tools integrated in one place and working smoothly with each other. Luckily, groundwork was already done, because our IDEs already look at the code via a model, not as a text representation. It means that it is possible to look at the code from different angles. It is possible to parse the code into abstract syntax tree and traverse it. One can navigate between method declaration and usages, search for classes with indices, or even traverse a control flow of the program without executing it. For instance, when one executes one of our AI actions available in editor, first of all, we extract a part of the code which is selected, but also different references available in the body of the method, its usages, and it all creates a complete picture, which makes answers of large language models much more relevant. If you're interested to see which files we actually sent together with your requests, you can always check it out in our AI chat interface. Furthermore, we have been able to add additional tooling, additional functions that AI chat can execute to extract information about the project. Now it is possible to know which files are currently open, which changes were recently made, or even search for classes or methods. A single request to a chat initiates a conversation between IDE and AI, which results in answering more complex questions. And we're definitely not going to stop here. References within the code is only one dimension that we want to cover. But there are much more other insights which is already available inside IDE, and we're definitely going to work on them next. Right, going back to our current status, we are releasing AI Assistant for all our commercial IntelliJ IDEs, as well as for ReSharper and Fleet. We covered plenty of languages, so please give it a try for your project and let us know what you think about it. All of it is covered by one subscription, either monthly or yearly, and it is available for individual customers or organizations. In all IntelliJ IDEs, the plugin is bundled starting from 2023.3 releases, and for ReSharper, it is available in .ultimate installers. You just need to log into your JetBrains account to get access to this functionality. Also, there is a free trial available with IDE paid subscription.
So thanks, Svetlana. That was amazing info. And I got thinking about what you said about deeply integrated into the IDE. So I demoed AI Assistant a lot at some conferences earlier this year. And when I showed how it's in the context menu, people really liked that. They liked that the AI was appearing with what they were already doing. Like it felt very natural.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't want to break developers' workflow, but to enrich it.
Mm-hmm.
You're right, Svetlana and Jodie. I did the same thing at conferences. It feels like we're starting this fascinating journey, bringing AI into what people already think of from an IDE. Thanks, Svetlana, for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you.
We just saw the AI chat as part of refactoring, but chat can do a lot more.
Oh, yeah. So the AI chat is one of the most open-ended part of the AI assistant. So it essentially acts as a very context-aware rubber duck that you can ask whatever questions you have about your projects. So you might want to know what a particular function does, how to complete a certain task in a given language, or maybe how to debug a particular problem. And the advantage of this rubber duck is, well, it can actually answer you back.
Well played, Jodie. Well played. Let's see this in Java code with IntelliJ IDEA.
Open AI Assistant. Type in a prompt and wait for the response. AI Chat takes your current project context into account to give you the most accurate answer possible. Then, any code you generate in the AI Chat can be inserted straight into your file.
This looks great. I can already see how the answers are more specific than what you would get just Googling or using ChatGPT.
Yeah, so as Svetlana explained for us, we can really tune the answers from the models by gathering that deep contextual information and passing it to the prompts. So what it gives us is the ability to tailor the answers to make sure that the large language model understands all of the factors that might be influencing what you're asking. So rather than needing to remember or even work out, okay, I'm using this version of the language and I'm using these packages with these versions, or maybe my class is inheriting from another one, AI Assistant is doing all of that work for you.
You know, this is going to be something we say a lot. Gathering the best input context and managing the chat response really has been a focus of ours.
Absolutely.
And we have a special treat for our writer fans. We've got Khalid Abuhakmeh, .NET developer advocate, buddy of ours, to do a live demo for us, a couple of his favorite AI assistant features as they show up in Writer. Welcome, Khalid.
Yeah, I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm super happy that Khalid's with us, partially because we love Khalid,
Yeah.
but also because I really love the features that he's going to be showing off. So first, he's going to show us how to pass inline prompts to generate code, and then he's going to show us how to explain that code for us.
Take it away, Khalid.
So here I have an ASP.NET Core minimal API application, and I'm looking to add a new endpoint that will generate a Fibonacci sequence for me. So the first thing I should do is hit Alt-Enter, go down to AI Actions, and select Generate Code. Here we'll see a prompt, and to avoid boring you, I already have it in my clipboard. I'll just go ahead and paste it here, but we can see my prompt is generate a minimal API endpoint that takes an integer parameter of n and returns a Fibonacci sequence of a response of list of int. The .NET folks will know what that is. So I'll hit enter, and you can see immediately our AI assistant kicks us over into the AI diff view, and our tokens are being streamed into the code. And you can see how it's going to affect the C# code that I already have. You can accept this immediately, or you can use the specify feature to refine the recommendations coming from AI Assistant. If you find this view a little too noisy, you can also switch to a two-sided view. And you can see, if you're familiar with our source control features, it's really familiar to that approach as well. So I'll go back to Unified. This looks really good, and I'm going to go ahead and accept all the changes. The thing I want to get across too is, as Jodie has kind of said throughout this webinar, is this is an AI assistant. We also have a lot of great resharper features that you can use on top of the code that's generated through AI assistant. So here you can see some additional squiggles. We can hit Alt-Enter and kind of begin switching over some of the code with some of the resharper recommendations. So again, use the AI assistant as a starting point, but use the power of resharper inside of Writer to really refine your code base. On top of that, we can look at this method, use our AI assistant again, and really explain the code. So here you see the AI chat has our context. It's now beginning to start to explain the code.
You know, this part's really interesting for me. Someone else wrote the code. Maybe I wrote the code a long time ago. And you walk up to it like, what is this code doing? You can spend a lot of time looking through the entire code base because, Jodie, this includes the context, right?
Exactly. So like everything that the AI assistant is working with, there's huge amounts of context around it. And what actually makes this explain code feature really, really cool is you can essentially use this almost like an interactive tutor. So say you're working with someone else's code base or you're learning a language, you can use it to generate code for you based on a particular thing that you want to do, and then have it explain actually what that code does and why it works the way it does.
Colin, it's a little bit like pair programming, right?
Yeah, I love programming, and what better way to do it than with an AI assistant?
All right, cool. Thanks for showing that.
Yeah, thank you, folks.
Hey, Khalid, are these specific to Writer?
Funny you should ask. All the features that I demoed today are actually available across all the IDEs that we've mentioned in this event.
Yeah, and I've been playing around with these features a lot in PyCharm, which is my IDE of choice. And one of the reasons I really like these features is I feel like they offer you a lot of flexibility in the editor, particularly the inline code completion. So they help you really customize the AI assistant to your needs without needing to leave your file and leave your coding workflow.
Well said. We're bringing AI to where you already are in the editor. Khalid, that was really cool. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, good luck, folks. Bye.
We've seen chats and prompts so far. Shall we look at some things you can do inside your file?
Yeah, so let's move on now to one of the core functions of AI Assistant, which is naturally code completion.
We'll show this in WebStorm.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Start typing in your current file. An AI assistant will propose the most likely piece of code to continue your file by analyzing all of the surrounding code.
You can really see how this would help speed up coding without needing to even start typing. AI Assistant has managed to complete the contents of this class.
Yeah, and it does this by passing in not just the code above the caret to the LLM, but also the code following it. And then, of course, all of that other deep contextual information that we've been talking about. And what that does is it really helps predict the code that you may have intended to write in that moment.
And as we keep saying over and over, this is an assistant. So it gives developers a great head start in their coding. You get some results. Maybe you tweak it manually, or you can even use AI Assistant again to refine that code that was just generated, maybe with a refactoring.
Yeah, and we saw Khalid do that in the last section. He sort of chained together two functions, and this is exactly how we want it to work, to be a sort of natural part of the workflow.
Yep, well said. Everything that we're seeing today is powered by the AI service, but what's the AI service? Let's welcome Vladislav Tankov, AI Platform Team Lead. Welcome.
Yeah, hi. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm really happy that Vladislav's joining us today because we're going to be focusing a lot on what you can see in the AI assistant. But what's going on behind the scenes is really interesting. And behind the scenes, what we have is the AI service doing a lot of the heavy lifting, right?
Yeah, that's right. The AI service is kind of like orchestration between IDE and a lot of LLM providers that we're using.
Yeah, I really think this AI service thing is really cool. So let's take a look.
So, JetBrains AI, it didn't come out of nowhere, actually. A few years ago, we started the development of our own writing assistant tool called Grazi. Initially, it worked locally in our IDEs and even has been bundled at some point, but later we've decided to try out bigger models in the cloud. And to implement it, we had to build a natural language processing platform, which we called Grazi platform, with dozens of microservices, processing user requests, getting semantics from it, running models, rules to achieve basically one task: make it easier for users to communicate in writing. And then it occurred to us that the same thing you need for a natural language processing platform powering up all writing assistants is the thing that you need for coding assistants as well. So this is the way JetBrains AI has been developed. JetBrains AI is the natural development of our natural language processing platform. It integrates trusted LLM providers worldwide and treats the code you send with the same reliability and safety we have been working with your text. And yeah, we take it very seriously. We perform thorough due diligence and never work with LLM providers that collect or train on your data. And having such a platform allows us to work with different LLM providers at once. That gives us ability to choose the best model or approach to solve your specific problem. And obviously, always to have the best quality for AI service that we provide. Right now, the AI assistant is powered with our own models that comes from Grazi platform and OpenAI GPT models. And we are currently working on integrating Google LLMs, and they will be available very soon without need for our users to do anything. But actually, another big task for us is the ability for JetBrains AI to provide service for our enterprise customers. It would be actually very natural for JetBrains Enterprise to work with different LLM endpoints inside the customer clouds. We already have the support of most of the popular models that exist out there. So we aim to provide a workflow where enterprise customers may ensure that their code never leaves the perimeter. And today we're announcing not only availability of JetBrains AI for personal and commercial users, but we're also announcing that JetBrains Enterprise will become available throughout 2024.
So thanks so much for bringing up the points about security and data privacy. So like I said earlier, I talked to a lot of people at conferences about AI Assistant, and they come from a range of companies, from small ones to big ones. And almost everyone, one of their first questions is about this. So in terms of how we're going to be doing implementation in the future, might the AI service move from being based on each developer's computer onto a network service?
Yeah, it definitely may. So we're working on JetBrains Enterprise, and we're considering different approaches. We're hearing from our customers, and we see that, yeah, a lot of our customers are actually expecting that there will be some on-premises solution, maybe that should be integrated with existing LM providers that they already have connected to, like some of the cloud LLM providers, or some of our customers even want to deploy everything on premises somewhere on a hardware. So yeah, we're definitely hearing from our customers, and we're making all we can in terms of JetBrains AI Enterprise to make sure that there will be such a solution.
You know, this is all really interesting. This point is really interesting. So it's really going to be fascinating to watch the AI service as it develops. Thanks for joining us, Vladislav.
Thank you.
Now, beyond just writing code, there are a lot of other tasks that developers need to do as part of their workflow, right?
Yeah, and definitely one of the most necessary but disliked of these is writing good documentation around your code. So one of my other favorite features in AI Assistant gives us a massive helping hand with this.
We'll see some Python code in PyCharm, right?
Yeah.
Open the AI Actions context menu and select Write Documentation. AI Assistant will analyze the contents of the selected code and its relevant context to provide rich, formatted documentation.
So essentially, the AI assistant can take the contents of this function that I'm sitting on, or a class or whatever, and give us back not just the documentation, but the documentation in the right format?
Yeah, so we're both Python developers. So I think we can both vouch for the fact that this is not only a great Python doc string, but frankly, almost better than many doc strings that I've written in the past. So you can see that again, we were able to invoke that action at just an arbitrary point in the function. And AI Assistant has just automatically understood that this is the correct unit of analysis, that logically, what we're asking for is documentation for this specific function.
And this is a point we make a lot outside of this AI launch. We've been making it for years. Developers read code a lot more than they write code. They review code. Can this be a help for all that?
Yeah, of course it can. So writing documentation helps the next person that reads any given piece of code. And additionally, like we saw in Khalid's section, you can use the explain code feature for this. So like we said before, it's almost like you're pair programming.
Again, we want you to think of this as an assistant. So that's another help. Let's move on to the final feature we want to show. We just covered one way in which AI Assistant can help with the communication tasks we need to do as developers by helping us write documentation.
Yeah, and another really nice feature that AI Assistant has to help with this is by helping us with generating commit messages.
This time we're using PHP Storm?
Select Generate Commit Message with AI Assistant. The AI service will create a commit message, and you can then finish what it started.
So you can see from the demo that this adds a really nice template for creating a commit message.
Yeah, this is really cool. Essentially, what's happening is your diff is being passed to the large language model, and the large language model is explaining what was done in natural language. So what it does is it gives you a really good starting point for your commit message by analyzing and summarizing what was done in this commit. This is a strength of large language models. It's something they do really well. And then what you can do is you can go back to that text that's produced by AI Assistant to make sure you're saying exactly what you want to say in your commit message.
I write good commit messages, said nobody ever.
But with AI Assistant, you can.
For this last segment, we'd like to bring out the CEO of JetBrains, Max Shafirov.
Hello, everyone. Hello, Paul. Hello, Jodie. Khalid, nice to see that Paul's background color matches Jodie's sweater color. How did you know, Paul?
Totally intentionally not.
Okay, perfection at work.
Yeah, we just knew.
Yeah.
So, Max, it's kind of a ritual, right, to roll out the CEO for major announcements. But you're here as a developer as well. You're still committing code to our products. And you've told us you have a nice origin story for automated assistants in our products, right?
Yep, indeed. So when I joined JetBrains in 2001 as a developer, I started working on something called code inspections. And many people these days call them linters. And I started with something really complicated one, and not the one that checks if your code is properly formatted, but a sophisticated code analysis engine. Anyway, we used well-known compiler technologies from 1970s and some academic papers from 1980s, applied things like data flow analysis and abstract interpretation. And the effect was that the developer could see certain conditions in their code were always true or always false, or certain reference came out as a null value at the time of a call causing null pointer exception. And that was happening on the fly as you type, providing important insights to the coder about their code and helping them to reason about the code more effectively. Well, when I showed an early prototype to JetBrains founders, the reaction was quite unexpected for me. They've said, wait, does that mean that the machine is now smarter than me? This is sentiment we hear a lot these days, right? So if you look at something enabling, at some technology that helps you operate on a high level as a black box, it looks like magic. Or as they call it now, an artificial intelligence.
Yeah, and it's kind of funny you mention that, because the first JetBrains IDE I started with after DataGrit was IntelliJ, and I was learning Java at the time. And I kind of had the same reaction. I really struggled with Java when I was learning it because I come from Python. And I felt it was almost like the IDE was teaching me. It was like kind of really shepherding me and helping me, work out where I was going wrong. So since I started at JetBrains, I've understood, that's actually something that we aim for with our tools. And it's something we're hoping for with AI Assistant, that is going to be the next step in how you and how our whole company has always approached that relationship between the developer and the IDE. That it's this really smooth integration of, as you said, that really lovely phrase, the enabling technology that elevates the developer's workflow within our IDE.
Exactly, yeah. More tech, more opportunities to go higher and deeper, and more opportunities to help people do their job and have fun.
Yeah. And that was actually kind of how it felt. It was more fun than frustrating when I was starting to learn Java. So back to AI Assistant, out of the gate, it really has had a bunch of wins. So what's one thing that you really want people to latch onto?
Well, probably it's something like we took our time to make sure that we really convert transformative technology into a transformative experience for our users through our tools. This is something that people expect from JetBrains.
Mhm.
And it's really important, and it's important to see and to let people see what is our thinking on this, what's our story on AI assistant. Max, thanks a bunch for joining us, and really congratulations on getting to this day.
Thank you. Thanks. It's a proud day for us. Kudos to the team who worked on this. And also, I want to thank our users and customers for making it possible, because we always do our best based on our users' feedback. Oh, of course, it's just the beginning. We have many things in the pipeline and many amazing ideas stemming from our users' feedback. Thank you, and have fun coding.
Well, Jodie, that's AI assistant. Let's do a quick recap of the what and the why.
Sure. So let's hit the basic info that we've covered today. AI Assistant is available right now in the 2023.3 release of the professional editions of JetBrains products. We're pricing it at $10 per month for individuals, $20 per user per month for organizations, or if you want to commit to a yearly subscription, it's $100 and $200 respectively. And we're offering a free trial to try it out. So jump on over to www.jetbrains.com/AI. The link is in the description below, and give it a go yourself.
Did you just do the link is in the description below thing? That's pretty cool. Good job.
Thanks.
Just to close out the scene, what do you want people to take away from this launch event?
So AI, large language models in this case, has a lot of power to help developers. And our AI assistant aims to do just that. Assist you in a way that's integrated into your tools and your workflows, things that you're already doing. And like Max said, like we've been saying this whole presentation, that's always been the JetBrains story. We want to make tools that ease your job, to boost your productivity, and hopefully make coding fun.
Well said. And it matches what I hear when I talk to our customers. You hear as well. They love our tools and they want an AI that fits. So on behalf of all the people at JetBrains who've worked really hard on AI Assistant, thanks for joining us for this launch event, and give AI Assistant a try. We hope you love it. Have a nice day.